Kayla, the BookTube Turtle, and my novel is finally ready for beta reading. If you haven't watched my first announcement video about this, I will link it in the cards. Go check that out before this one, because I do talk about part of this process, and I go over what my book is actually about, and I'm not going to repeat any of that information in this video. So if you haven't seen that and you are interested, or you might be interested in beta reading, go check that out too. But yeah, basically in this video, I'm going to be talking about the actual application and the beta reading process. The application is in the description below. It's a Google form. I'm going to be showing it in this video too. It is open today and it closes April 22nd. Just a warning before I really get into this, this is probably going to be a super long video, so I'm sorry for that. But if you are interested in beta reading, please watch the whole thing, because I'm going to kind of break everything down, and so if you really want to do this, you'll know what's going on. And also, if you look at the application, it probably looks like there's a lot of stuff going on, or a lot of stuff that you're agreeing to by being a beta reader, but I want to make it clear that I want this to be a really chill and casual process. Okay, here we go. So this is the form. I have this little thing at the top that says that your responses don't affect you being able to be a beta reader. Basically, if you apply, you're gonna get to do it, because I'm not really expecting that many people to. But I'm only collecting this information for contacting purposes and understanding my audience of beta readers. So I'm just gonna fill this out myself. So you're gonna put in your email address, and this is how I'm going to be sending you the chapters and stuff. Your name. Have you ever participated in beta reading? No. Yes. And this, I just want to kind of know what kind of experience you have. If you have never done anything, it doesn't really matter. Then gender, age. If you want to put just a range, that's fine too. If you want to put mid-20s or something. If you don't want to put your exact number, that's fine. This is just this next section is stuff that it helps me kind of know what you usually read. What categories you tend to read in, so you can select more than one. And then your social media, Instagram is BookTube. Oh my gosh, I can't type. BookTube Turtle. You can put all of your things on there. I'm just gonna put that one for now for the sake of time. Here's when things get really long. So this is things you can expect during the beta process. It's a whole long thing, so if you don't want to read it, I'm gonna talk about it right now. Okay, so all of this stuff is on the actual form if you want to read through it. The first thing is that you can leave the beta process at any time, no questions asked. If it is because of the book itself, I would like to know that, but you're not required to tell me why. Just let me know that you do want to leave. That way I'm not wondering what happened to you or what's going on, or if I'm ever gonna get anything back. If you do decide to leave, you do have to turn in the feedback for the last set of chapters you received, but then you're free to go after that. Next is preliminary chapters. So as soon as you send the application and I receive that email, I will email you the first 2 chapters of my novel. So with this, you can read it and decide if you want to continue based on the book, if you think it's going to work for you or not. So there's a couple options. You can either email me your feedback and tell me that you do want to continue, and as soon as I get your feedback, you'll get the next chapters. You can email me feedback and tell me that you don't want to continue, or you can just not respond. If you don't respond by April 29th, which that date will be in the email of the preliminary chapters, I'll just assume that you no longer want to beta read. Okay, so for receiving all of the other chapters, after the first 2 preliminary chapters, you will receive 4 at a time, and the due date for each of those will be stated in the email when you get them. You'll usually have at least a week to read and respond. If you need more time, I'm going to talk about that in a second, but if you do need more time, just let me know. Okay, so for responses and feedback, basically just rip my book apart. Just kidding, but seriously. I just be as honest and thorough as possible. I want to be able to make my book the best that it can be, and So all feedback is going to be helpful to me. You will be given questions at the end of each chapter, and you must answer all of them. I mean, sometimes that can be as simple as just saying no, like, one of the questions is like, was there anything confusing? Like, if there wasn't anything confusing, you can just put no or leave it blank. If it's something like that, I'll talk about that more later. And like, your responses can be casual or formal. It's whatever you're personally most comfortable with. You can also use the comments and track changes features in Word if you know how to use that and that's something you want to use, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Just answer the questions at the end and send it back, and that's good enough. For early feedback, if you respond before like the due date or whatever for that set of chapters, you don't have to wait until the next week. Like, I'll immediately, as soon as I get the email, I'll send you the next 4. However, the original due date for that next set will still be the same. So like, if you read a bunch all at once and you like, something happens and you can't read it for a little bit, like, you've banked up a lot of time because you've read a part of it really fast, if that makes sense. Late feedback. So to keep this whole process on track, I have predetermined deadlines for every set of chapters. And I would like to have the responses in by that time, but like, obviously life happens. I want this to be a casual thing, like I said earlier. So it's fine if you can't meet it, or you can't get it to me whenever it was like due or whatever. Just let me know so that I'm not wondering if you just like dropped out or what's going on. Just email me, message me on social media, just something, and be like, hey, I'm gonna need more time, and that's completely fine. I don't want to like stress anybody out over this or like make people not want to do it because I'm just like, oh, there's deadlines. I'm so organized, and like, I want things to be like stay on track, but if you can't do 1 week per set of 4 chapters, like, just let me know. Finally, in the beta expectation section, I have contact. It's just a list of ways that you can reach me. It's in every description of all my YouTube videos. So you can always email me if you want to talk in real time. You can message me. And then this is a confidentiality copyright thing. I have this thing up here that says basically don't steal or share my work. So it's just saying that I own this book, like, this is mine, don't steal it, don't plagiarize it. By agreeing to this, you're acknowledging that the manuscript you receive is meant only for you and is not to be shared or posted elsewhere. The manuscript must remain confidential under your critique. And then I just have this thing that says, if you plagiarize, steal, or share my work, you will be released from the beta process and will no longer be able to continue. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious, like, don't take my book. That's not an okay thing, don't do it, and it'll be fine. So then it's yes. And then if you have any other comments, anything else you want to say, you can put it there. Click that. And submit. And it's submitted. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the feedback questions. So there's a standard set of questions that will be in every chapter, and then there'll be some unique ones that have to do with that particular chapter, where I could just be like, what are your thoughts on this specific thing? But I'm just going to go through the general ones. So the first one is initial thoughts. This is just kind of like, what are you thinking coming out of that chapter? The next one is, what is your favorite scene and why? Pretty self-explanatory. And then the next one is, did you have a least favorite scene? What was it and why? So this is one that you could just say no if you didn't have a least favorite scene. If you did, let me know and tell me why. Both of these are just so I can understand what parts people are liking of the book and what parts they aren't. Next is the character section. It'll have a list of the important characters in that chapter. There will also be an other bullet point at the bottom of that list if there's anybody else you want to talk about. And it's just your thoughts on that character from that chapter, how they've been developing, just whatever. Was there anything confusing? Like I said earlier, you answer it if there was something confusing, tell me what it is. If there's not, you can just say no or leave it blank. On a scale from 1 to 10, how keen are you to read more? So basically, I mean, it's what it sounds like. How excited are you to keep reading? This helps me know how engaging certain parts are versus other parts of the story. Even though literally when my friend read this, we didn't always take this particular section seriously. There was parts where she was super excited to read the next chapter, so she would just put ridiculous numbers like... The next question is, do you have any predictions? This is just, you know, what do you think is going to happen next? This is another one where you might not always have new predictions for what might happen, but if you do, let me know, because this helps me know how predictable certain parts are, or really just, I like knowing, even if it's like something so out there that you're like, there's no way this could be it, like, it's entertaining to like read things like that, like what people think like could possibly happen. And then, do you have any other comments, suggestions, concerns? This is just anything else you might want to add. This is another one you could leave blank if you don't. Okay, so sorry again that this is a super long video, but if you are interested in being a beta reader, please fill out the form. Again, it closes April 22nd. It is currently live right now, link in the description. As soon as I receive your application, I will send you the first 2 chapters of my book. Thank you in advance to anyone who applies. I truly, truly appreciate it, and it means everything to be able to share my book with you guys. If you have any questions about anything regarding my book or this process or just anything at any time, feel free to email me or message me on social media. All of my links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!